We're going live. We're live.
Oh my God, we're here.
We're recording.
It's amazing technology.
Unfortunately, the only intro I have for this show that doesn't involve Nick Cage, and this one is this one.
That's it.
Hello, citizens. Welcome to LAW or B Movie Battle, whatever we're doing. I'm not here today. I don't know. Movie Battle.
The Blob versus the Blob.
Yeah, you do all the talking today.
That's all right. We're going to talk about the Blob versus the Blob.
58 versus 88.
Yes.
And one of them is a clear winner, but we'll get into that later.
I don't know. I think the Blob, the 58 version, has its charm.
Oh, it's the clear winner.
Oh, is that what it is? Yeah. You totally reversed it on me. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to handle that.
To pull the rug. All right, so you asked me what was going on. So, had COVID last week. It led to an infection in my jaw.
Oh, God.
And it was like eating away at my jawbone and stuff.
Jesus.
So they'd go in there, and the only way to get to it was to yank out my teeth.
Ah!
So they go in there and do a bone graft and get it all the infection cleared out. They said it was like my throat was starting to swell up, and like my cheek was like up here.
And you're not even a smoker.
No, if it would have went to my throat, it would. Oh my God, my lungs or my stomach.
You'd be dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd be fucked.
Yeah, so I had to go into the.
So the COVID blob tried to kill you.
Yeah.
And you beat it.
And I'm in there like, ah. So I can't open my mouth that much right now.
Wow.
It doesn't look that bad on the outside because they did it. See the missing tooth and stuff?
So are they going to put those missing teeth back?
Yeah, they have to wait for the bone graft to.
Are they going to give you brand new teeth then? You'll have superhuman teeth?
Yeah, I've never had a tooth pulled before. I've only had one cavity before ever.
Right, yeah.
So
that's probably why that was probably the best option, because now your teeth are fine. If your teeth would have been bad, it might have been worse. You could have been spreading your whole mouth.
Yeah, but I've never gone through anything like this before.
You've been talking like this today.
My lip from right here to right here is completely numb. I feel none of it.
Yeah.
And it's been.
Oh, John Merrick, I appreciate the theater.
You sound like you're doing Michael Caine.
A little bit, yeah. Michael Caine as Elephant Man on Broadway.
Yeah.
1973. It's before Jaws Revenge.
Oh, God. Before you got a seaplane.
Before he got his third house.
Yeah. So the Blob.
The Blob, 1958.
The original Steve McQueen one. It won our B Movie Battle 2. This is our first non-Nick Cage movie episode of this show, of B Movie Battle, since Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
And I wasn't part of that one.
No, that was with Adam back on. We recorded it July 15th of 2020. I didn't release it until April 21st of 21.
Oh,
This sat on it.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
So you had a ghost guest star on your show that day.
No, he's alive still.
Well, back then, yeah, but it was like having the Norm Macdonald stand-up special on Netflix after he's been dead for 6 months.
Had he been dead already, yes, but Adam was still alive when I released it.
Oh, was he? Oh, that's right. He
didn't die till.
Good point. Okay, July. That's right. I'm thinking my ears are all screwed up now because I keep thinking it's still 2020. I feel like that year never happened because of COVID. It ruined everything.
I have no idea what's happening right now.
That's fine. I don't think it matters.
I don't know how people should take pain pills and live on them, because all I do is get sick to my stomach and either can't sleep or all I want to do is sleep. One of those two options. That's it. And I'm like, how do people just love this stuff?
You're like a rock star.
They ruin their lives for this stuff, and I'm fucking miserable on it.
Oh, it's horrible. That's why that's why they love it, because it makes them feel like shit, because they are shit. And they've accepted it. They're just like, I'm fucking shit. I don't deserve the fame. I don't deserve the girls. I just want to die. I want to sleep all day.
I like how when you're just rock stars, it's not like it's not just like a tax accountant or anything.
No.
What normal people who get hooked on.
Exactly. No, it's rock stars.
Just rock stars.
No, normal people die, and just like they die, and it's like, oh, I had fentanyl overdose. Put them in the statistics. Yeah. But when a rock and roll star dies, that's news and sad, and
we're still going to chalk it up as a COVID death, though.
Exactly. Well, that's how they do that.
Those stats.
Yeah, the stats, rookie numbers. We got to pump those stats up.
NyQuil and Cocaine debuted August 15th of 2018.
Wow,
that was my last note there. Let's get into the movie, the original movie. We both noticed the exact same first thing, because the intro song for the original fucking slams. It
Oh,
slaps.
it's fantastic.
That song fucks.
Burt Bacharach at his fucking prime.
I kind of want to play part of it.
I think you can. I think it's technically public domain. I feel like it is because 58's a long time ago. Got that. Ooh. I'm going to the Tiki Lounge. But watch out, the Blob's coming.
The blob, the blob,
The Blob, the Blob. And that's like the first 10 minutes of the movie.
A splotch, a blotch, be careful of the blob. Beware of the blob, it creeps.
It creeps, it reaps, it kills innocent children in the sequel.
Yeah. It'll come after your autistic brother. It'll
My zipper! Ah! It kills character actors left and right. What's his name? Garrett Damon. Garrett Damon.
Jeffrey
The Blob. Bump, bump. Candy Clark. The Blob. Bump, bump. Victims of the Blob.
So since I can't talk that much, I think all we'll do is compare the two, not so much go through the.
Yeah, we're not going to go through each one. No, there's no point because the first one is simple. It's just a simplistic. It was made by a guy that originally wanted to make Christian movies for his church. He wanted to do the series of John the Baptist film or the Apostle films. We started with, we'll make one big, they took the Ed Wood approach. They're going to take all the money and put it in a monster movie, make the profits, and then take the profits and make their Apostle movies. That's what I kept thinking about when I was reading the IMDb trivia, was just, oh, this is fucking Ed Wood.
I'm glad
this
you
is what happened to Ed Wood.
I did zero research.
No, it's fat. And I guess Steve McQueen, originally his wife was going to be casted in the movie. Though I think, is that his wife? Is that his wife in the movie? I can't remember. I don't think so though. But she was cast. She was at the casting call.
Sorry.
And then
married. The man's 17 years old in this.
He was 17 going on 37. Yes.
He could not look more 17 in this movie.
We're talking 1958, 37. So 70, we're close to 52.
He looks 42 years old.
Yes.
He really is 28 here though.
Is he 28? Oh God.
The man lived fast.
Well, he died in 1980.
Yeah.
So he was very young when he died. And the only reason I know that is because True Detective season 3. Because they make a point to say 1980, that was the year Steve McQueen died.
Everyone died in 1980.
Pretty much.
Rod Serling.
Was that 80? Oh man.
Was that 85? No, it's 80.
Is it 80?
Hitchcock, did he die in 80?
I feel like he was 83.
Orson Welles.
84. Orson Welles was like 86.
Oh, okay.
I think he died in the mid 80s. Because he did the Transformers movie, and that was like 1985. Oh yeah, he did. Yeah, that was his last credit. That bought his last 5 steaks and 5 bottles of wine and 10 cigars.
Hitchcock was 80. That was the one I was thinking of.
Oh, Hitchcock was 80? Okay. Yeah.
I knew one of them. One of those two guys died in 80.
And I do know that for a fact that the lead actress, the ingenue in the Blob, went on to be the ongoing character that was Andy Taylor's love interest in the Andy Griffith Show.
Oh.
So that's who she is.
Yeah.
So I was watching it. Oh, God. Yeah, absolutely. Andy Griffith got that. Ooh. Aunt B, fuck you. This is the one. Aunt B is when you're desperate. Aunt B is like when you're real desperate and you're just like, oh, Andy, my crotchless panties. I'm gonna make you a pie, Andy.
So at one point my daughter walks into this movie when I was watching this, and she goes, she's sitting there watching them, and she goes, "Why aren't they going to their kids?"
Good.
I was like, yeah, even she's not buying that he's a teenager.
Good point, exactly. Why are there children? Where are their middle-aged children?
Yeah.
They're college graduated kids. Where are they at?
Are they going to go off in their 401k before they get back to the Blob issue?
Aren't they going to be worried about the Eisenhower industrial war complex? Vietnam is approaching. Are they worried about that? Not quite. What year is this movie? 58, right?
Members?
Okay. Did they renew their AARP membership?
Oh, before they get back to high school. I'm sorry.
Right. Yes. High school.
Think about it. This is a high schooler.
Yes. Honestly, though, you look back at the yearbooks of 1958, he is a high schooler. That's what they look like. Because high schoolers in 1958 worked at the local auto shop to pay for their future, but they just had to go to high school to get a diploma just because they didn't want to look like a hobo. So, like, they had their job situated by the time they were 17.
I just want to show this quick shot here because you remember this scene. It is very, very awkward. Steve McQueen is like he's on drugs, and this looks like an Ed Wood shot.
Oh, the whole movie is Ed Wood. It's Ed Wood oriented. It's they shoot and they go. Like, this movie is low budget, obviously. It's very, it's that 50s bad movie aesthetic where everybody sits and talks about things that happened off screen that we never get to see.
Yeah.
And it's the aftermath, and it's always like in question because you said there was a monster here. I just don't see it. Where's the doctor? Well, the doctor left to go to a conference in the middle of the night with another doctor. So we have to wait till they get to the hotel to call the hotel that they're going to be at in 4 hours.
Let's talk about that for 5 minutes.
That magical plot point of the movie.
That doesn't go anywhere.
That does not go anywhere because he's dead because the blob ate him. And the nurse who was off duty,
she came in to die.
She came back as the doctor called her in because he wanted to trick the blob to shoot it with a shotgun, and it didn't quite work out.
No. It's the slowest death scene ever.
And she's brutally murdered by a gelatinous blob.
And raped.
Pretty
sure he slipped in there.
Oh, absolutely. It gets everywhere.
Yeah,
that blob juice.
Oh, speaking of, it gets everywhere. Does this shot not look like the contrast of Ghostbusters 2016?
It does a little bit. Now, this is a colorized version, right? Because the Blob was originally a black and white movie, correct?
No,
was it colorized?
It's part of the song, and part of it is it's red.
Yeah, really? I always felt like this was black and white. They turned it.
I thought so too, but here I am watching it.
Well, because our version's the colored version.
Don't say that word.
The colored version.
No, I think this is just it.
I can't remember. I feel like it was black and white. I don't remember. I don't know. I can't.
Also known as The Glob.
The Glob. The original title was The Glob. Absolutely.
I'll look this up. You kind of go over the differences in the beginning between the two movies.
Well, just the difference is there's no story. I mean, what's nice about the 1980s, 86 Blob?
88.
88? Oh, man. 88 Blob is a great example of script writing. I mean, I think it should be taught in script writing classes. You have wonderful setup and payoff that all comes into play in the movie. And, of course, it's written by Darabont and directed by, oh, God, what's his partner at the time? What was his name?
Color.
Chuck Russell. Chuck Russell, and then Frank Darabont wrote it. And then, oh, wow, a woman wrote the original screenplay with Theodore Simonson. Kay Linacker. You should see her picture. Holy shit, that's amazing. She was born 1913, died 2008. She is known for The Blob.
And being one of Frankenstein's wives.
Well, she's wrote 6 things. The Blob is on here twice because, the sequel.
Remake.
But she wrote Lux Video Theater, United Steel Hour, The Blob, River Boat, which was a TV show, Bronco, television show, and then The Blob, 1988, earlier screenplay as Kate Phillips.
She wrote the original. She's in the original War Dogs.
She's in the original War Dogs. She stopped acting in 1945. That is her last acting credit, was 1945.
She looks like Dr. Frankenstein made her.
She does. But this will give you perspective. Her last credit is Bring in the Girls, 1945, uncredited. 1944, uncredited. 1944, uncredited. 1944, uncredited. And then Men on Her Mind, 1944. Eloise Palmer. And then she's done everything. For the first work she ever got was 1936, The Murder of Dr. Harrigan. That was her first role as an actor.
But going off what you're saying about teaching this script writing in film school, because it is a nice setup. Like, everything they set up is paid off later, like the zipper we talked about.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And there's a lot of shit set up.
Yes.
The beginning of the movies kind of follows the same trajectory. It's just that the remake has a lot more going on.
Yes.
And characters who actually act like human beings. because it's like their cardboard cutouts in the original. It's like
Right.
I am the bully / your friend. What's race? And it's like, are they?
And they're not
friends
even.
or not?
They're friends because at first you're like, oh, they must be enemies, and then they're helping each other out. They're just like,
Yeah.
how are we gonna stop this thing, Jimmy?
He gets them to go door to door to warn everyone. Like,
I say they're the whole town comes together, and they're all mad at this kid at the beginning. They're like, oh, he's a truant. He's a truant. And then with the Blob, we have to save the town. God damn it!
I remember watching the Blob as a kid a lot, and I always thought it was the original.
Yeah,
and turns out it was just the remake. And I've seen the original because it was. I always remember the giant blob coming down and all the soldiers, and I'm like, all right, that's the Blob. And I watched the original again. And I'm like,
this is the Blob. This is the Glob. This is the Blob.
It takes over a little like diner, and then they freeze it.
They freeze it out, and that's how it ends. That's how it is. That's
I'm
how
like, oh, that's yeah. Then you see the Frank Darabont written one. It's a massive thing, and like you get to see the bodies inside of it. It's really cool looking.
So here's a little tidbit. In an attempt to profit from Steve McQueen's success of The Towering Inferno in 1974, this film was re-released in various countries during the mid-70s, falsely promoting it as an Irwin Allen-style disaster movie. Talk about getting your money's worth out of a project. That's amazing.
Can you imagine going to see if you thought it was like The Towering Inferno or Poseidon Adventure and you see this?
Oh. Yeah, but if you were a foreigner, you'd be too stupid to know the difference. And you'd be like, Steve McQueen, good job, Blob. Oh, scary.
He's 46.
He's 47 years old playing a teenager. Now, they still do a festival in Philadelphia where this was shot, or I'm sorry, Pennsylvania. Phoenixville, Pennsylvania.
Got my own ville.
There you go. Phoenixville, Pennsylvania. That's where they shot the theater at. And I guess every year they have a Blob festival where it's like a big, like kind of like a con surrounding the theater, like on the street. Like it's just like a small town out of nowhere. And they have like vendors up and they have like food and you can buy shit. It's like a con. It's like, you buy shit and you go and it culminates at the end. Everybody goes to the theater and they run out. And that's the end of the show. Yeah, they do this.
This is where you're heading.
Yep.
I love the last guy out of this theater here is having a ball.
Oh, he loves it. It's just like
they're all screaming and watch this last guy.
Fantastic. Yeah. Woo!
He's happy.
Well, he blew it.
It cuts back.
Oh, that chick fell. Did you see that? Holy shit! She got.
They're all laughing. But this last guy is just. Oh, come on! Don't get all fuzzy. Look at him.
He did it twice. I saw that guy twice.
I think
in the main shot, he's the one that knocks down that chick. She fucking nails against that concrete. She's lucky she didn't pop her fucking eye out. Jesus Christ.
The rest of the movie is really similar where it's they're trying to tell the adults what's going on. The adults don't believe them, obviously. It's similar to 1,000 movies from the 50s and 80s. Again, 1950s, 80s.
Yeah.
And they follow the same trajectory for the most part. It's just that the 80s version has a lot more brutality with the Blob. Like you see rotting bodies.
Oh, the 80s takes full extent of that R rating and really pushes it, and it's just fantastic. Like the new Blob. I mean, I never saw. I only saw the Blob
17.
recently. Yeah, 17 years old.
He has gray hair.
He has gray hair and he has crow's
liver
feet.
Spots.
And by the way, during this movie, he smoked like 2 packs a day. So you don't see him smoke. But I guess they said in one shot you can see smoke around him, and there's no reason for smoke to be around him.
That's why I paused it right here.
Yeah, is this the part?
I was like, I don't know if it's this exact shot, but I was like, why is there smoke all around him?
He had a cigarette lit underneath his other frame here.
Because it's just him and her, and they're outside the garage.
Because he is not happy. He was not happy to make this movie. I can tell you that much.
I don't know if you'll see it, but I have it muted.
My dick's on fire. Why don't you put it out?
But if you look closely, you'll see smoke billowing over his shoulder here.
Now,
because I want to show the tight ass fit they have to do in this garage. Look at this.
Oh my God! How do you get in the car? Well, that's why
it's convertible.
It's a convertible. That's why. That's ridiculous. Look at that. There's not an inch to spare on either side. You have to get in the car through the window.
It's climbing through here.
What garage has a window?
I don't know.
This one, because you have to get in the car.
Tanner's garage.
Oh, I have your car towed all this way, and all you have for me is light beer. So I guess Steve McQueen was offered $2,500, or he could have gotten 10% of the film's profits. He took the $2,500 because the film wasn't expected to make much. According to producer Jack H. Harris, when being interviewed, he said the film ultimately grossed $4 million. So Steve McQueen would have gotten $400,000 as opposed to $2,500 for this. But then again, $4 million gross after how long? I mean, you got to eat, right? $2,500 would pay for a lot of groceries in the mint, a lot of cigarettes. At 10 cents a pack, it's a lot of cigarettes.
Oh yeah,
in those days,
back in the day.
And I guess Steve McQueen didn't like this movie apparently. Like this was kind of like a black mark on his career. He did not like being mentioned with it for years. But then in his home, when he died, they found that he had a Blob poster in his house. So there had to have been some kind of, he must have gotten over it later in life and just said, you know what, I was too hard on that movie.
Well, he was a simple teenage boy here.
Simple teenage boy at 17.
Yeah, he makes mistakes. Like, yeah, I get it. 8 years later when he's in his early 50s, it's different. Things change, But the Kevin Dillon in the remake,
yes,
is his character, and his outside of his hair being the most 80s thing ever, he's really good in the movie.
Yeah, and Steve McQueen is good in that. I think Steve McQueen is actually really charming in this movie. Like,
except when he gets pulled over, he's creepy as shit.
Well, he's playing that part of like, oh, he caught me, but I wasn't doing anything. I think he's pretending to be a kid. But he hasn't been a kid in 40 years, so he doesn't remember.
He's biting his hand at the end.
Well, yeah.
What are you doing?
I think he's trying. He's like laughing at the situation, maybe, and he's trying to like just stick to character. And he didn't realize the camera was on him.
It's a little bizarre. Fast forwarding through the remake here, just kind of looking for. Here's a nice crotch shot of Kevin Dillon.
Fantastic.
Yeah, look at that.
There you go. And also you got the guy from ER right there who gets killed by a falling helicopter, I think. Or no, he was in RoboCop as well, and he dies with toxic sludge and getting ran over by a car.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
He's the toxic sludge guy who I always think is he's in a lot of stuff. He's bald now, and he's put on muscle. I don't know if you've seen him recently, but he also looks a lot like Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers.
So apparently, I was going to say he does look like Flea. So according to producer, the director initially met Steve McQueen when the actor's wife, Nellie Adams, was appearing in a short religious film that they were making. According to Harris, Urith found McQueen to be a dirty jerk, an opinionated pain in the ass.
I got to say, I thought that J word you're going to say was going to be something else.
No, he wasn't. He's not a Jew.
He's found him to be that, though.
He's a Catholic, I think. But I guess they were going to sign her into the lead for the Blob, but I guess they ended up seeing McQueen. They knew he was good, and he fell. Oh, so McQueen, Ben Gazzar was doing a play, and Ben Gazzar was going to be in this movie. And I guess he filled in for Ben Gazzar because he got sick. So they said, well, shit, this Steve McQueen's pretty good. Let's hire him. So they gave a 3-picture deal. Apparently, hey, only Putin didn't find girls with us. I don't believe that. Putin can get whatever he wants. That guy, have you seen him topless on a horse?
Yeah.
Come on now. Invade my Ukraine. But I guess
put it in me all day.
That's right. Take me out to the ball game.
So Steve McQueen kind of fell into this movie.
So Steve McQueen fell into, but also they signed him for 3 pictures. And then at the last minute, he was such a pain in the ass to work with. They said, you know what, fuck it. we'll release you of the picture and we don't want you in these other movies. And they said later they regret it because those movies no one even heard of. Let's say one was called Dinosaurus, 1960, and 4D Man,
Yeah.
1959.
4Ds on the man.
4Ds on the man.
Sweet. So this,
and of course, you know,
I just want to show the cook die.
Oh, it's fantastic. I remember seeing this commercial as a kid when this movie was in theaters. And I was like, what the fuck was that? I gotta see it. I never did.
It takes her a while to drop the plates. I was watching.
Yeah.
She's like,
she's processing.
It's sorry, it's really choppy, this video.
Brian?
I have another scene here I can play from this movie.
It's a bomb! He's got a bomb!
All right.
That's right. That's her.
This is probably where I developed the crush.
Oh, absolutely. She's cutie in this one. But she's a woman in Becker.
She's a woman.
She's a woman in Becker. She's all woman in Becker.
This in The Stand and
Armageddon,
her 5 second
stand. Yeah, her 5 seconds in Armageddon, which
I was like, oh, that was like prime teenage years, and I was like, oh, who was that? Like, I didn't realize it was the same person. I already knew.
And you're looking at Steve Buscemi.
Yeah.
Who's that
beautiful creature? And
who's that monster? Who's actually one of the greatest television directors of all time, Steve Buscemi. I mean, honestly, I would put him as one of the greatest TV directors of all time.
Damn, these are just flowing in. Look at all.
Yeah, that's great. Are you guys watching the show? No, you're blob bots. You're blob bots. Nobody cares. Go to hell, blob bots.
I love blob bots though.
They're not giving us anything. We're not getting any money out of this deal.
We got one view,
and I think it's not them. It's probably Frank.
I think if they're commenting, it's got to be.
It's stupid Frank. He's doing this. He's the porno guy. That's his side job. He's doing Russian porno stuff. I was
watching it at the 88 version, and I'm keeping in mind I knew that Frank Darabont wrote it, and I'm like, I was noticing some lines, and I'm like, I feel like he wanted to do The Stand. I just noticed some lines that came up that were pulled from The Stand, or
I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah,
and there's a bunch of them later on. I can't. Again, I'm not all the way with it, but right now, but there were some.
I would believe it. Yeah,
I would love to see. Even now, I would love to see his version of The Stand.
Oh, absolutely, that'd be
Give
great.
him all the time and money and whoever he wants.
No,
maybe that's why he, accepted The Walking Dead. He's like, as close as I'm gonna get.
Well, no, he liked The Walking Dead. That's why he did it.
No,
he was a big fan of The Walking Dead. But then they fired him and he sued him, and that's a whole nother story. We gotta get in. I think that would be a great HID episode. That whole trial. I need to find like the transcripts and his testimony, because he's hilarious. Because he was dealing with idiots, and he was just like, you know what? He's to a point in his career where he doesn't want to suffer fools. So he like just point blank says, "Are you retarded?" Like he just goes nuts. And like they said, it was so toxic. But it's like, dude, this is the guy that did Shawshank Redemption. You do what he says. Like, you don't like question Frank Darabont and like try to give him the runaround of like, I don't know what happened. Especially on a show that was probably some PA getting paid a bunch of money to do it.
I'd love to see Christian Bale and Frank Darabont go at each other.
Oh, we can do that. We'll find a way to do that. Watch you off the fucking set.
It's totally unprofessional, man.
You and me are done professionally.
I liked in the remake how the teenagers aren't the ones trying to get everyone to believe them.
Right.
At the beginning, but then also the military is ahead of the curve.
Right, well, because it ends up being a military experiment. Yeah. It's not an alien, because the Blob's an alien. The big difference is that this was created in a lab. This was COVID in the Wuhan province, and they let it out. They released it, and it killed an old homeless guy. And then it kills a bunch of other people who you think are going to be in the movie for the whole time. They get killed right away, which is a wonderful subversion of expectation when you have a main character show up in the first 10 minutes and he dies immediately.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about the boyfriend. the boyfriend character who were with the first 20 minutes of the movie. We're following him and her. And
Yeah,
Kevin Dillon's kind of a side character for a minute.
I did write down one of my notes, and I forgot to mention it was I like that she goes out on a date with that guy. He gets killed, and then she just goes on a date with Kevin Dillon on accident. Yeah. And then she's just dating him now.
Well, she's in a horrible PSD. She saw her boyfriend be essentially absorbed into a gelatinous blob of mush, in a horrible way to die.
I have some. So here's the military, and they're all doing their science stuff. But I also have a note about the weird building of shields that the homeless guy hangs out outside when he first gets attacked.
Well, it's cold.
No, it's like this crazy ass building. I want to find it.
Now, do you get the vibe that this is a ski town, and like for the winter they're open, and like the winter is their crazy months, but this is like the downturns of the fall before snow comes to town, because that's what it is.
They said it, but I didn't.
Yeah,
not really important.
It's not, but it's interesting because like it shows you how isolated they are. It's almost like Jaws. It's like you could say it's a takeaway from Jaws, because Jaws is the Amityville, means friendship, and you say Blob, you have panic on your hands on the 4th of November. You got to panic.
There's a creepy rape scene
in the first Blob, the Steve McQueen Blob.
No, the remake.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
All right, I found the building. It's like a Game of Thrones set.
Oh yeah, look at that! Fantastic. Hubcaps, got a chimney. Oh fuck, he's living the life. He's got a better house than most people.
He's outside.
Well, sure. Well, he's an outdoorsman. What are you gonna do?
But at one point, the girl passes out, and the guy's just like, "What if I?"
Right? Yeah, it was in here. Oh!
Yeah.
Blob eats him.
Blob titties.
Blob titties.
It's every time.
That's the same thing happened to Tommy Lee with Pamela Anderson. Blob titties. That's why he has hepatitis C. And so does she.
I don't really care about the rest of my notes. I don't think.
Well, no, I mean, they're two very different movies. Like, what was the first? Because you said you saw the Blob growing up.
Yeah.
Like, I never watched the Blob, either of them. I've never watched them until I was late in life. Yeah, I didn't watch the Blob remake until recently when I bought it, because I knew I'd like it. Because I had heard everything. Like, everybody said, "Oh, it's great. You gotta watch this." Yeah, I'm gonna get it one of these days. And Shout Factory or Arrow had I think Shout Factory had a special edition come out, and I bought it. And I watched it, and it was great. It's a great movie. The Blob, the original, I knew about it forever, just never watched it because it's just like, eh. But I'm finding myself now just watching older movies because everything new sucks. Like I can't. Like new movies are just terrible. They're not worth watching. So I'm totally happy just like going down Amazon and HBO Max watching older movies, like from the 40s and 50s and 60s and 70s, and just like they're better. And
even the ones I want to watch now, I watch like Nightmare Alley. I totally watched, and I'm like, I like a lot about that movie, and I did like the movie, but I'm like, I didn't need to watch it. Like,
no, yeah, well, I liked it more than you, but yeah, no, I see where you're coming from. But like movies like on Netflix, like you mean all like Red Notice and like Army of the Dead and all these like these streaming movies are garbage. Like,
I will never watch Army of the Dead.
Well, I've never seen any of them. I refuse. They look terrible. The Adam Project.
They have a sequel to Army of the Dead.
Yeah, and it's not even a zombie movie. It's a bank heist.
So
like but it's like, why? It's a bank heist movie.
Isn't Army of the Dead a bank heist movie too?
Yeah, but it's the zombie bank heist movie in Vegas. So yeah, it's like they're not connected at all, but like tangentially with a bank robbery. And like, why? And I'm not going to watch it because it's like 2 hours and 45 minutes long.
Zack Snyder nonsense.
Why? Zack Snyder, stop. He's a madman. He's to be stopped like the Blob.
I think we're done. I can't talk that long. And
that's fine.
There's a lot of differences, and all of them favor, except for the theme song.
Yes.
And I do appreciate the old movie. I know I was making fun of it earlier, but I really do appreciate it.
It's charming. It's a charming
movie. I give that one a 6.
I'll give it a 7. I enjoy it. It was a lot of fun, and I was just like, you know what? This is a fun throwback 50s movie. No one ever thought anything of it. It was fun. Steve McQueen got a lot of charisma. I can see why he was a movie star. He's very good. You know, he's got that it factor. He's great.
He creeps me out in that movie.
He does. Oh, that's what I like about him.
Yeah. Well, the remake, I'm giving a 7.
Oh, the remake I give an 8. Solid 8.
You're just
Yeah, I love it. It's a great
higher
movie.
than
Yeah, great movie.
But clearly it wins. It's not even
Yeah,
close.
of course, yes. Blob 88 wins.
I will say, as a horror movie, I think it's underappreciated.
Yes.
I think people think about it mostly as like the cheesy monster movie,
Right,
like,
it's
as
not.
a horror movie itself.
Yeah.
When it's killing things, it is.
Oh,
brutal.
it's a brutal movie. It's brutal. There's a lot of brutal stuff in there.
When the first boyfriend dies and he's like, ah, and he's screaming for help. And
It's rough. It's really
gnarly.
it's well done. Yeah, and they kill a 12-year-old kid in it violently. It's like a brief horrible image, but it's pretty bad.
I'm always for that.
It's got balls. It's a horror movie with balls. They just don't make those anymore.
Bulls and blobs.
They just don't do it anymore. The movie world is shite.
All right, the next episode on B Movie Battle is going to be in 2 weeks.
What?
2 weeks. The Family Man versus Trespass. Nick Cage.
Oh, good God. Okay.
It's 2 movies where he plays a family man.
Sure, why not?
We got a Brett Ratner movie.
Oh.
And a Joel Schumacher movie.
Oh. Well, okay.
No, it's not Joel Schumacher at his finest. It's Joel Schumacher giving up.
It's Joel Schumacher putting the nail in his coffin.
Oh. All right. So, congratulations, 88. Blob.
Hey, all right. Who would have thought?
Who could have imagined?
Here, we'll give you.
You get a prize.
We're going to send Frank Darabont this bag of Sun Chips.
There we go.
His award.
There we go.
A half-eaten bag of Sun Chips.
I don't have the energy right now to just end the show, so I'll just click on end.
Goodbye, guys.
Bye.
The Blob.
The Blob.
The Glob. The Blob. Everybody's glad.